WeAreArcade.com presents the Anime UK podcast with the SSRS.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りいたします。
Hey, so welcome to the fourth episode of Anime UK, brought to you by WeAreArcade.com. This is Aisha.
I'm Harriet.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Violet.
And we'll be talking about all the latest Otaku news. Right now, let's go into anime. So, we've been looking at all the latest anime at the moment, and the one that came to mind that was quite unusual was Ako no Hana, and that anime, the reason why it was quite strange was because the style of the anime was bizarre, really. It's kind of like almost like anime with faces stuck on them moving around. Has anyone else come across it?
I've been watching it recently. I don't know, I kind of like the animation style for it. I mean, it's different from what you normally see, and I think it suits what's going to be the story of it, I guess.
Oh, I don't know. I'm completely opposite of you. It just creeped me out totally, and because there was some sort of sinister tones in this anime, I just kind of thought, oh, I kind of don't want to be on my own right now. I need another person in the room. I feel like the eyes are watching me almost. What about you, Harriet and Alex? Have you seen it?
I haven't come across it as yet.
I've only seen a few pictures of it compared to the manga.
To be honest, it kind of strikes me as a bit of a slice of life, really, but then kind of gets a bit odd. And from what I'm hearing, apparently there's also a manga out there where it's quite serious, issues are involved in it. Where you follow the main guy and he's basically at school with all his friends and there's some sort of secret that he's got and people come across it basically and all sorts of weirdness happens. Will you be watching the next episode then, I take it, Violet?
Oh yeah, I think it ended on such a cliffhanger that I need to watch the next episode.
Oh, definitely. Okay. So, moving away from the almost controversial anime, let's talk about a more upbeat one. How about Photokana? Anyone seen this one?
Yep, I've watched that one.
I have to say, didn't you love it?
I did actually. I was a bit worried because obviously it's about photography and I do photography and I was somewhat afraid of what it would be. But it's actually quite good. I did like it and I'm definitely going to carry on with that series.
I have to say, I had no idea what it was going to be about, and I just watched it and I thought, looks like a slice of life, and then suddenly it just got a bit weird and I thought, wait a minute, is this like softcore hentai or something? I'm not quite sure where this is going.
It is somewhat bordering on there, especially with the kind of group that they are, but yeah.
I was going to say it's actually based, because I've been researching the game that it's actually based on. It's actually based on a dating sim, so that's why it's got that sort of pervy tone to it.
Ah, that's right. Okay.
Basically, just to give a gist to our listeners, this anime is about basically a guy called Darts-un who inherits his dad's old camera, which suddenly makes him into a babe magnet at school. And basically, he's then pressured into joining one of two photo clubs. One, the photography club, which is run by super sleuth pervert for taking erotic photos. And then you got the photo club, run by all female troupe for taking scenario photos, sceneries and whatnot. And guess what club he picked? Obviously the pervert. To be honest, he was a bit,
He was pressured into it.
Yeah, he was kind of thinking like, maybe I should join the other club. And then he was like, nah, okay then. But, I'll have to just say, it just ends on the weirdest cliffhanger ever.
I know. I kind of thought, yeah, where are we going with this? Then the credits was like, oh, have to watch next week. So that is, it's like the last anime that you were talking about. It's one of those ones that it's like, you have to watch it next week to find out what it is. And you probably won't find out until like halfway through the episode. There'll be an interruption of some sort.
It's almost like totally out of nowhere cliffhanger, just like the other one. This one, he's just walks into the classroom, finds one of his, classmates crying at Nimi-san's desk, and then she's kind of like, oh, don't tell anyone I'm crying, or, I'll tell you why I'm upset. And it's like, I was sitting there thinking, lesbian, I'm telling you, she loves Nimi-chan, she's a lesbian.
I thought that as well.
I thought it too.
Yeah, the L word. I'm telling you, everyone needs to watch the second episode. It's addictive. Next cheesy anime I watched. I haven't actually seen the first season, but I'd seen the hype about it. Utano Prince Summer.
Woo!
I see Alex was also there with me watching it. What did you think?
Oh, it's brilliantly cheesy. It's so funny. Oh, I watched the first season. Not because of, I actually just enjoyed it. I wasn't actually keeping a tab on the story half the time. I was watching it long with everyone.
If you just give us a summary then of what the first season was about.
If you've seen the first episode, you notice there's a group of guys and one girl, and anyone who's watched this new episode have said, why are these guys following her? But, the first season, you meet them, and, all of them want to be idols. They all have their own little story, and every episode or so you get to meet them. And, the girl with the pink hair, who's the main character, she joins this big idol academy because she wants to be a musical songwriter.
Oh, that I got, but I just didn't catch her name. I was watching through the whole anime going, I'm sure they're going to say her name eventually.
Is it Haruka? Haruka? Something like along those lines. I can never remember her exact name.
Catch were their pet names. They kept calling her Little Lamb. And all these little pure things, and I was like, there's something
I've given up on memorising the guys' names. Like everyone else, I've just given them nicknames based on their hair colour and personalities. It's brilliant.
Totally. And I have to say the art was so beautiful in this anime. It's so detailed, and then suddenly they go all chibi and, super lame. And then
they've taken the art style from the game, I think, quite a lot of it. The game had more details in the pictures.
Oh, have you played the game yourself?
No, I'm afraid there's no English version of the game, so I haven't actually explored.
Wait. So would the game be a dating sim?
Yes. There are, I think, around 5 games, and each one has different characters added on top. So you start with the main guys you saw on the first episode, and then the 4 new guys who are introduced this episode as well are in another game you can date. And there's also a game where you can date the teachers, including, there's one, if you saw them in the first episode, the one with the pink hair looks like a woman.
Oh yeah, the transgender.
Yeah, the trap. You can actually date him in one of the games supposedly, but I don't think anyone's got that scene yet. I think they're all trying.
I'm definitely gonna have to look into this. It looks hilarious. I mean, I rarely come across any of these, what would you call it, a harem anime, right?
It's a female version, yeah, because most you get lots of guy ones with lots of women, but this one, is a very rare version where you get tons of cheesy guys and one girl.
So basically the second season is following this young lady who wants to be a songwriter, and she's basically doing a master's at the Shining Academy where all the guys who are from the first season. Basically they're actual performers, singers, idols, and she gets to share the same building as them, and you're just like, yeah, of course, that makes sense. And as usual, all the guys are smitten with the main protagonist, and basically the whole episode's about them all gushing over her, really. So all I know is that there was a tanned, cute-looking guy in the beginning, and I was like, where is the hot guy? And then you see him for a second at the end. It's like, no, Cecil, you have a ridiculous name.
Oh, don't worry, he appears a lot more, supposedly in the second season, because in the game he appears a lot more after they become a big group.
There needs to be more ethnic minorities in animes. I'm telling you this right now, but not with stupid, ridiculous names.
Watch episode 2. The whole episode 2 is him.
Right, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so next anime, another quite interesting one. I didn't expect this to go the way it went. Hataraku Mausama, about basically wars waged between Satan, his demons, and the human race, and basically Satan and one of his demons, Aziel, flee to another world, and basically they get transported to modern day Japan, and they're walking around their robes speaking in tongues, and then police stop them and they're like, oh, look, it says weird cosplayers. What are they up to? And it's like, oh, good lord. And I just thought, no, they're seriously not going to stay there. Oh, and they do. And they rent a place and they get jobs, and Satan works in McRonald's, and he's like, top employee, and you just kind of sit there going, so what, this fantasy's turned into a slice of life? I want pillaging, I want murdering, I want some great CGI, which I saw in the beginning for the first 2 minutes, and literally you get to the end of the episode and then they bump into a chick who also used to be a hero from his world, so one of the humans.
I think she turns... Yeah, because I watched this episode and I actually really enjoyed it. It's definitely, out of the list, this is my favourite one. It was, it turns out I think she's the hero from the one who defeated him in the last world or something like that.
Made him flee, basically.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of interesting how he's like, you know, the devil personified, and the next thing you know, he's working part-time in, as you said, McRonald's, and he wants to get a promotion. It's just... It's really weird, but it just worked perfectly for some reason. I don't know why, it was just brilliant.
And it was strange because, I don't know, it was really weird because they had so many modern day references, like when he's working in McDonald's, like, Aziel's always going to him, oh, we can't live off cheeseburgers forever, this isn't Super Size Me, you know, I don't want to grow
I know.
Did anyone spot the Holy Potter movie poster as well?
Yes,
yeah.
I did, yeah. Especially when they were talking about how magic doesn't exist in this world, and then they zoomed to, the Harry Potter thing, and I thought, oh dear.
I love it when they do that.
I know.
It's just the hilarious names they have to come up with to not get into copyright problems.
Yeah, it's not like Code Geass where they can use Pizza Hut every 5 minutes, or Tiger and Bunny.
Shamelessly.
Yeah.
What did you think, Alex, of this anime?
I actually found it quite funny. I kind of cringed a bit because of, I don't know what it was, but the demon voice just really bugged me for a few minutes because it sounded like they were talking backwards in Japanese.
Yeah, I couldn't get what they were saying. Yeah.
It's just like, I know it's not supposed to be any language, but I was sitting there, and the hilarious bit is when, I don't know if he was supposed to be angry, but when Satan was like, speaking his language, and all of a sudden he's like, yes, yeah, I'm really doing this really well, yeah, and then whole just him standing there going, but wait, what? You're not doing anything, why are you so happy? Why are you shouting? What's going on? I don't understand. But it was fun to watch actually. I'm hoping some ridiculous antics happen with the new hero or any of their characters when they start turning up.
I want to see him change and take over the world, and
same.
You know, I think he just turned nice way too quick. And how quickly did he get a job in Japan? I'm sorry, from a demon who can't even speak English, he got a job pretty fast.
I don't get this, but I want to know.
Seriously.
Well, to be fair, he can hypnotise people, so...
I think his powers were getting quite weak, though.
Yeah, but I think but it started running out just after he got the job, so...
Yeah.
You know.
Probably used it all up on the interview.
We'll see. We'll see for the next episode. So, the next anime was one that we've actually mentioned previously. The one that I wasn't too keen on, but I read the manga, I thought I'd give the anime a chance, and that is Attack on Titan. The thing is, really, what really bugged me about the manga did bug me again in the anime, and that was there was just barely any info on these actual titans. I mean, it was brilliant when you're seeing, you know, the beautiful imagery of the animals and, you know, wildlife, and then you just see the wall and you see this big menacing red hand on top and you're like, ugh, what the hell? They did, you know, portray that amazingly in the anime, but I still really couldn't relate to the main character. He's just an annoying little runt, that Eren, and he's basically trying, you know, he's too big for his own boots and he wants to join the recon and save the day when, quite frankly, no one really takes him seriously. If anything, everyone's scared of his sister. She's the only interesting part for me. If I do decide to carry on watching this anime, it's just to see how her character progresses, really. But I'm sure, Alex, you probably have a different...
I've kept up with the manga, so I know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And just in case I say anything, I will say spoiler now for anyone too much. But the sister does get a better storyline.
Hooray.
The brother is such a boring little bugger.
Exactly.
But he's the main character for a valid reason, which you will find later on. And about the Titans, they're kept ambiguous on purpose, because there's a big kind of bomb of a storyline along later on, where you start questioning what the hell are the Titans? How did they turn into this? How do they become that? And it gets really depressing. I'm expecting every episode to be like, oh yeah, one of your friends has died. Oh.
Really? I thought it was quite depressing enough. Like when they come back from
no.
the mission, they're like, oh, where's my son? Oh, here he is. Here's his arm. This is all we can salvage. It was like, oh, okay. Right?
Yeah. It's just like, if you keep hope, but there is a 90% death rate on this show. In the manga, it's literally they were dropping like flies right from the start. So if anything, the Titans are ridiculously overpowered, and they don't realise, and you kind of sit there and go, oh no, they're going to be fine. They're going to, there goes my favourite, my favourite character.
I'm not actually getting this vibe. I mean, from the first episode, it seemed pretty grim. As soon as they came out, they were like, yeah, we haven't really progressed in any of our, searching. And it's just like, oh, okay. Sounds like you're all screwed, basically. They all maybe
pretty much are. Right from the start, they have no hope. And, through the series, you've watched the main guy and his sister and the little friend, like, try really hard to keep everyone alive and do their best, but they've failed quite a lot of times, along the lines to protect anyone in any of the teams. Mm-hmm. And then you get introduced to some of the other teams as well and what they do, and you're like, oh, they're awesome. Why have we got this crappy little MC? Why have we got him? Oh, that's what, but he's still crap. Doesn't do anything. Why? Can't we just have the sister? And even then, I think she disappears for quite a few chapters and then comes back.
And it's quite vague. They don't really explain she's the sister. And I was a bit like, okay, I know she's the sister because obviously I read the manga, but I'm just sitting there like, that is right? Yeah, not much.
Yeah, she is the sister. It's just the other question is her personality is really odd. You're starting to see it later on down the line. She's just slightly mental. But in an awesomely brilliant way where if anything goes wrong, she's just stone-faced. She just stands there and goes, let's continue on.
Really?
Yeah, really? Just carry on. And it makes her the best character out of everyone.
Well, nothing can affect her, so of course she's a bit
continuously
stronger,
goes. It's just like, look, one of our best friends has died. Oh, well. We'll make a new friend. Oh, look, we've made a new friend. Oh, he's died. Oh, don't worry, there's more people.
Oh, it's fine. The human race is huge. It's fine.
But as you said, the first episode was a bit, they haven't really explained much, and they've kind of just gone straight to, oh look, everything's gone wrong. Oh.
In a very overdramatic kind of way.
Yeah.
So moving along from this kind of dismal, depressing anime, we'll move to Haka Ryoran, Samurai Bride. Anyone seen this?
I did.
I couldn't get a grasp of what the hell was going on, so you can explain, Violet.
Don't worry, I didn't get a grasp on it. I was more, I was, hypnotized by the art style of the background. It was just so pretty.
Really? You look past the cleavage? All I could see was cleavage. That was it. Fan service.
I did see the cleavage. I can't even speak now. I didn't look past that, but like I said, the background was so pretty because they were using textures for it.
Well, I clearly did not notice. I just, for 1 second, they're beating demons, and the next second they're in a maid cafe. I was like, oh, okay, maid cafe, cool, yeah, wearing cute dresses, and they've got MasterCards and Visas, and I was confused. I was like, wait a minute, are we feudal Japan? Are we modern day? Why have they got credit cards?
Supposedly it's meant to be in like, the 19... No, it's meant to be in the 1930s from what I read. But why would they have iPads, etc., back in,
and a maid cafe? That clearly would not exist.
The pink-haired girl I think, might be the reason behind that, the main one. I think they might have mentioned it in the last series, but I can't remember either. It was something along those lines. It's like, oh, here's a massive plot hole. Oh, it's her fault.
Basically, if you're into this is basically the opposite of Prince Summer anime we were talking about, that was your harem for a girl, and this is basically a harem for a boy, because all I could remember was random fights, cleavage, MasterCard, and bam, it was the end of the episode.
And panty shots.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there was a lot of panty shots. Oh my god, as soon as you walk into the maid cafe, they all got it out, didn't they? So yeah, random as that is. Any other animes, guys, have you seen?
I've been watching, I watched Death Billiards, I think it was.
Billiards, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was that one about?
To put it, shortly, it was about two guys that go into a bar, and then they get told by the barkeeper that they have to play a game and bet their life on it. This game ends up being pool.
Really? It sounded like a joke when you said two guys walked into a bar. And?
Well, I don't know if I want to spoil it. I mean, it's only one episode.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that, there is a major twist in it, and you didn't think that was coming, so, but it is really good. I watched it as well. And you kind of think, they're gonna play billiards and whatnot, but then it kind of turns into like a cat and mouse kind of game. You know, trying to save your own life for the sake of someone else kind of thing.
Bit like Jumanji.
Yeah.
But I was actually reading up on, this anime. It was actually funded by the, government, I think, over in Japan, for the 2012 Young Animator Training Project.
Oh, right.
So that's why it was only one episode long.
Oh, so not planning on doing any more then?
I don't think so.
Different animators, isn't it? Release ones at certain times.
Yeah.
Yeah, with different names, because I remember there was one before, I can't remember the name, but it was about a little girl who was a spider. And, it was like a really short story, and she was released from a book in a library, and the story goes along the lines that the guy who owns the library takes a liking to her because she's cute and adorable, and then, they get freaked. The library guy has a little girl, or well, not little girl, a girl that fancies him, or is close to him, and she hates this little spider girl because she's really creepy and she's worried about her, and they go on this big kind of story thing where they get really close to the little spider girl, and it turns out, she's really nice, she's really sweet, and then there's a big cliffhanger, ridiculous, horrible ending that everyone complained about, and then the spider girl gets the guy in the end, after taking out, spoiler, I'll say this now, taking out the other girl when no one expected it. And it was pretty grim, because if it was literally like the little spider girl who they found, she had a huge mum that lived in a lake, this massive monster, and the mother almost ate them, but the little spider girl saved them, only to break the web right where the other girl was sitting, so she fell and got eaten in the lake. And to make everything worse, the spider girl took on her shape. I was hanging out with the guy, and the guy's just like, yay, I've got a spider girl, she's really sweet, and didn't realise what the hell was going on, doesn't remember the other girl now. And everyone was like, that's a horrible ending, why did you do that? But yeah, the Young Animator Training Project, they do a different one, I think every year or so. They choose someone, and they get them to do an animated short, like Death Billiards, and they'll send it out to try and get advertisements for them with a company. So I think
and then they work on it if they get sponsorship, right?
Yeah, because I think Death Billiards was sponsored by Madhouse, was it? I think.
Yeah, yes.
Because they came up at the start, didn't they?
Yes.
So I think that animator is kind of trying to work for them now. So I think each animator, if they're successful, does get sent to like a little animator place as well.
Thing is, I'm really upset that there's going to be no more episodes of it, because mind you, I was watching it and going, well, if this is just going to be the overall plot for each episode, it's going to get boring fast. But at the same time, I absolutely love the animation style for it.
It was really pretty.
It was, actually.
It would be nice if they continued it on, and had like a little spin-off where you find out what the bartender's like and the woman at the door.
And, different games instead of pool all the time, so...
Yeah, see if they start playing darts. It'd be quite interesting to try and pull off.
I can see how that goes wrong.
Yeah, they just throw it at each other. Like,
Oh no, what am I? Because you lost. Alright, so we've come probably to the end of the anime list. Anyone playing anything new at the moment?
Going back to the dating sim thing, I've been playing Hatoful Boyfriend, which is basically a dating sim where you date pigeons.
Oh, I heard about this one.
Cries on, isn't he? Cries
Sorry.
down.
shouldn't laugh.
No, I only really wanted to play it out of pure curiosity, and I do find pigeons kind of cute in the pet way, not in the... You get what I mean.
Not in bestiality context, yeah?
Yeah.
I should hope not.
But yeah,
Clean tops, everyone, clean.
it's an interesting game. I mean, it's not the most well built game, but it's interesting to play. I mean, sometime later in the game, you actually get to see the pigeons as they would be as anime characters. So.
Oh, I thought that was only at the start when they did the introductions for them.
No, you do get to see them later on as well.
Yeah, because my only knowledge of this game is watching the YouTube guy Cry play like first few minutes of it, and he gave up.
Yay, Cry. Sorry.
Yeah. He gave up because he was just like, I don't have the free time to do this. And
Well, you are dating literally a pigeon, though.
it looked really funny, and I love the fact they made like real life jokes in there, like the pigeon blog.
I can't believe I missed that, because I watch a lot of Cry's videos, and I can't believe I missed that, so I have to go back and see that now.
It's in the hidden dregs of really old videos. Yeah, in the game, isn't there? There's like a pigeon blog reference.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and if you type in the name into Google, it actually exists. I think it's Brian the Pigeon of London.
I haven't actually looked that up yet.
Yeah, because I watched it as a video, I paused the video and quickly copied the address.
Oh,
and
I found it.
Brian the Pigeon blog.
Diaries of a London Pigeon.
That's the one.
That's just amazing.
They even make like other game references in the game as well, if I remember rightly. But I've only watched a few minutes, so I don't actually know what it's like.
Like I said, it's not a well-built game, but it's interesting to play if you do like dating sims.
What is this on? PC? PSP?
Yeah.
Wow.
PC, and it's a free download as well.
Guys,
pretty
knock
cool.
yourselves out with pigeons. Speaking of wildlife, I've been playing Okami HD on PSM.
Yes, it's free.
Okami's badass, and it's in HD, and it's free. Yes,
I need to
PlayStation
download
Plus.
that.
that was a legendary game when it first came out on PS2, and I think it was pretty much made for the Wii with, the whole concept of using a paintbrush to do everything, and you've got the Wii remote. I'd actually love to play it again, maybe on the Wii U, hopefully, or I don't know what the plans are for that, or maybe Connect. That'd be a good
Wii U
idea.
would be good because it means if you've got the touch screen, you can draw with your finger.
Oh
on the
yeah,
little controller.
true.
That'd be really good.
Better, handability, I guess.
If you sit there going, I'm in a fight, must quickly draw with my finger.
Throw away, literally, and I just love the art in that game. Just beautiful.
I've still got the old PS2 version, so I'm gonna get the HD one.
See, I've never played Okami.
You should play it. It's fun. A little
is
bit
really
of Japanese history in there as well.
I haven't ever got around to it. I really do want to play it. It's just, time.
It's actually quite a long game, if I remember rightly. There's 2 parts to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Definitely
so
worth the money.
just for running around alone and drawing and looking at all the backgrounds is just brilliant.
I'll have to look into that then.
Yeah, if you've got a PlayStation, and it's connected to the internet, just get like a cheap PlayStation Plus for for a few days, and just get it for free, the HD.
Just to try it out, yeah. I think that's worth it as well.
That's if I can download it on my PlayStation. I've got the really old PlayStation that doesn't have any memory, so.
Oh, don't worry, I've got the 80 gig one that still plays PS2 games.
I have the 40 gig one, so.
Are we showing off now about PS3s here? Because mine's slim and it's 80 gigs and whatnot. And has ears on it. And it talks.
I have the really old 80 gig, so it's like a block.
Oh, I got the new one for Christmas. I got the 500 gig, I think.
Oh, okay. Harriet wins hands.
But I can do backward compatible.
I can play PS2 games, some of them.
I can't, yeah.
Some of them. It's a little bit temperamental.
And I'm going to say that I love Xbox here because I don't really like my PlayStation, so.
I think I've only using the PlayStation at the moment because what's it called? The co-op and online gaming with friends is free. While on the Xbox you have to pay that horrible
I'm not
membership.
happy with monopolising of the internet. I'm annoyed about the new Xbox that's going to come out. It's all about the money with Xbox and Microsoft. Damn you. And that really killed the conversation, didn't it? Another new game actually that's come out. It's free for the iOS. If you're a fan actually of your beat 'em up games, Tekken card game. I've been playing that. I played the beta version and then now the full edition's out. Basically, it's so simple. You can just fight, but just in a card motion, strike, defend, focus to then pick up another card and then you just kick your opponent's ass. And the great thing about that is if you're not into Tekken, doesn't matter, you can download Injustice version instead. So if you're into Batman, you can do a card game version of that. And it's all free and you can play online with your friends or random people and it's kind of addictive and, it's a great thing to play just on your way to work or something.
Our buddies at Banff, aren't they going to talk about that soon, aren't they? Injustice.
The actual game, which is coming out, the 19th of April, guys. Yeah. Woo! Okay, obviously you guys aren't interested, you all hate it. You made it thoroughly clear, but I, as the Mortal Kombat fan, I am looking forward to seeing the actual full game and not the demo, so you never know.
I'm going to give it a go, definitely. I'm not going to go buy the demo. I'm definitely going to give it a go.
Good.
Going back to the Tekken card game though, I did download it and I think I deleted it within 5 minutes of playing it.
You lost it. It's fine. It's fine.
No, I didn't lose. I won. But I just couldn't get on with it. It was too slow for me. Because I was expecting it to be like Tekken, or at least a bit more fast paced, and it's just like,
no, it's a card game.
Yeah, I know it's a card game, but
you have a 10-second time limit, I think, for you to do a move or something.
Even Magic the Gathering's faster than that card game, so.
Oh, but you're probably used to doing Magic more than with the Tekken card game.
Yeah.
So it probably does seem a lot more fun to do the one you like the most.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I've been playing a new one that's just come out. It's from the same creators of Ib, The Witch's House and all that, and it's called Paranoiac.
Alright.
Oh, another one for me to look up.
That's it, yeah. It's literally the same thing, you're a character, you kind of go around solving this mystery and whatnot. No, I know the other games did scare me, but these are just freaky images. It's, I think the girl's name was Miki. Your aunt's died and you've inherited, her house. And, you kind of go around thinking, oh, what's happened here and whatnot. And, mysterious things start to happen. It's somewhat like The Ring I can't think of it now, but it's like the hair, that's it, yep. Hair starts coming through fax machines and the sink and whatnot, and, it's freaky. And the monster is just, when it catches you, you get flash images, and they are pretty, disturbing for me anyway. It's a good game, but not as good as the ones prior to what's been out, like, Mad Father, Ib, etc.
Sounds like a must play. I'm into my J-horror, so that just sounds up my alleyway.
Yeah, if you get used to the kind of the pixelated characters, I mean, when the characters speak, you do see their face. But it is somewhat pixelated. If you can get over that, then you'll love the game.
It's kind of like an old Game Boy version.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm a hardcore RPG. I like my 2D pixels. It's all good. If anything, that won't scare me. Oh, ruined it for me. I'm not going to be scared. I'm going to be sitting there going, when's the scary part going to happen?
Although there are some parts still that kind of moments, you know.
Something just happened to you there.
I know. It is literally like I'm playing it and I'll just like hide behind the screen. If I can't see it, it's not real thing.
Oh.
I'm terrible with horror games, but I kind of have to desensitize myself to them.
I think after you play it for a while, you get used to it.
Yeah.
And then
Or you could be lazy like me and just look at someone else play it.
I do that as well.
It's more enjoyable actually, that way. You enjoy the CGI. But then if you play it with another person in the room, that sometimes helps.
Yeah.
I may have mentioned this before, but I've played Amnesia and Slenderman on my own, and they haven't scared me at all.
Slenderman didn't scare me. Amnesia, I got thoroughly bored because nothing happened like an hour. And I was like, right, I was trolled. This is a terrible game. Nothing actually happens. Does something actually happen, by the way?
Well, there are new versions of Slenderman that have come out now. The Arrival's the recent one. And that's
Slenderman, I know a lot of boys that actually got shit scared of that game.
I played it at my friend's house and just watching was like, please don't get caught, please don't get caught, please don't get caught, please don't get caught. That image.
I was going to say, as soon as I see Slenderman, if I get bored, I just walk up to him and be like, Slenderman! You know.
It's just the fuzzy images he does.
It is. There are some great reaction videos online of Slenderman. I think the best one was like 9 drunk guys play Slenderman, and it's just so funny.
But he's just a skinny man in a suit.
I know.
think it's not him that looks like, it's just the, it's that horrible fuzz thing that happens when he gets too close.
Yeah, the little fog.
Which makes you panic, it's like, I
And that
can't
noise.
see what I'm doing.
And you hear that dung music,
Yeah,
and then you think,
it's like,
oh crap, he's here.
I think that's the only thing that scares you, just like, please don't do that, please don't do that, please don't do that, run faster!
Going back to Amnesia though, I think the whole point of there being nothing to do is that's what makes it scary, because you're always expecting something to happen. So
it's just the suspense that kind of kills you.
I mean, there are things that will jump out at you or try to kill you if it per se gets too dark in that room, but most of the time it is just suspense.
I knew it. Nothing happens.
The custom stories
game.
The custom stories though can be very scary. There was one, I think Markiplier, Let's Play, he played one a while back. The name escapes me now, but it was really scary because they introduced new monsters into it, ones that you'd never seen before, so you didn't know what they do or what would happen if they caught you. So it's good in that aspect, like, because A Machine for Pigs is coming out, I think.
Oh, the new Amnesia, yes.
I think that's been delayed. No, it's been brought forward actually, I lie. It's been brought forward, so we're gonna get it, I think, in May or June?
There's an IOU, there's an I can't even say the name. Damn it! Uni, the Abe game.
Oh yeah.
There's one called Uni, I think, and there's a Amnesia Dark Descent custom game of that.
I have seen that. Yep,
that actually is really well done.
It is. It's really scary.
they actually put effort in to copy the whole game just with the Amnesia graphics, and that does it really well.
Yeah.
But I still got lost. I was kind of going, I know this layout, but I can't work out where I'm going. I know it's coming. Well, what shall I do?
Next thing you hear the psycho music and you're just running for your life.
You're just like pegging for the door. It's like, the door won't move! Run faster, get out of the way. I know where to hide, but I can't remember how to get there all of a sudden. I'm lost.
Please push the door.
Yeah. Switch the light. No, don't do that. It's actually really well done. That's the one time where I've actually enjoyed where someone's upscaled a game somewhere and it actually looks and scared me more than the original.
Okay, so what's new in the news for you guys?
I was just reading up recently that there's a Kickstarter campaign for Street Fighter Assassin's Fist, which is going to be a series, I believe, based on Street Fighter, and it's actually going to be properly about Street Fighter, unlike the American movies they made back in like late 80s, 90s.
Nicole Kidman!
Terrible movies.
Great memories.
But they're wanting like £625,000 to make this movie, so
That's quite
That's
cheap.
a lot. I thought that'd be a lot.
Not really. I mean, I wonder if Capcom have allowed this to actually happen, because they're just random people.
They actually have given their blessings to this, so I don't know if it's going to be canon per se, but they have, allowed it.
Oh wow. This could be quite good. These fan productions are normally quite good. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen that Mortal Kombat miniseries that was online. That was amazing.
That was the one that had Jerry Ryan in it, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was really good. I did enjoy that.
See, I still remember that, I can't remember what website it was, but somebody did a live action Legend of Zelda trailer.
Oh, that was for April Fool's Day. I
Yeah.
remember that, yeah. And everyone wanted it to be real as well, and I did as well.
Well, Street Fighter's not going to happen then. Woo! Let's see, what else? Have you guys heard of this retro game called Killer Instinct?
Yeah, it's one of my favourite games.
Basically, Microsoft have now got the lease on the name again 10 years later, after there was some sort of series that used the name. So they are talking about possibly making a new game, or basically rebooting the old one, redoing it. One of many options. But it's all hearsay and everyone's getting excited, beat 'em up game. Yeah.
That was a brilliant game.
I know, that's what everyone's looking forward to.
You get me excited now, because it was a game that I was brought up on.
There you go. So, that's a nice tidbit of news for you, the guys. And, didn't someone famous die recently, actually? And no, I'm not talking about Margaret Thatcher.
The other one was Yamaguchi Nogoro. He is the light novel writer for Strike Witches. So he did that series as well, and I think he did another one as well, but I can't remember.
Oh, it was quite an emotional send-off for him, wasn't it? He left a letter, didn't he?
Yeah, he was in his 40s, and before he went to get treatment, he said a load of things which they kept a record of, which was he wanted to finish all his series. He was currently airing at the moment, all his books. So he was like really hoping that this therapy was going to help him, and he left a message going, "Oh, I want to live. I want to live. I want to finish my series for the fans, and I don't want to die." And everyone was sitting there going, "Oh my God, that's so sad. Why did you have to say that? Now that you're dead," everyone's sitting there going, "But I wish he was alive."
Well, that's a good thing. He's left a good legacy, though.
He's left a huge legacy. That he actually died on the 4th, but there was a letter. People have only found the letter because it was in Japanese now, that was announced up online of his death from some of the companies or the editors he worked with.
Sad times. Looking at the latest events going on, I'm sure you've heard of the new arcade about to open in Acton called Heart of Gaming. Ever since the close down of Gamer Base and the arcade in Trocadero, we've kind of been lacking in the West End, so this new place is going to be huge, and it will have hopefully everything. And one of the founders is part of the Snake Pit crew, who hosts the Tekken Tag tournament. So that's going to be pretty cool and really good for meetups and tourneys. So make sure you look into it. It'll be opening on the 13th. There'll be cheap gaming for the opening. It's definitely worth a look-see. Also, the same day, there will also be the Mayamada Frozen Yogurt event going on in Covent Garden Tutti Frutti. So if you're free, if you just quickly go onto the Facebook page and book your free ticket just to go, just because of the space, you need to get a ticket. And they'll be doing casual gaming, Mario Kart tourneys, Jenga, free cupcakes, and all sorts. So definitely great place for free fun. Woo! Also for my Tekken following, there'll be ranking battles at 360 Gaming UK on the 19th of April. So if you're not at home playing Injustice, please go out and play the Tekken Tag tournament too, and kick some ass, make some friends, have a bit of fun. Anything else, guys?
More video game news. Dark Souls 2 video was released. The video showed demo footage of the game. Since everyone's been scared to death of this game, it's nice to see what it actually looks like. Well, to some degree. It looks good, but But I'm slightly irritated where they kept saying, "Oh, we've done the graphics up. We've done the graphics up." And I said, "Yes, you have done the graphics, but not for the backgrounds." So that kind of defeats the point. The graphics upgrade they've done seems to have gone all into the armor in your character, which is really nice because now you've got like the character they show you has got like a nice coat, like a tail fin coat on, and it flows and it blows around. In original Dark Souls, like here's a static armor, it doesn't move. But the backgrounds, the areas, they do look nice, but they seem to be just more detailed textures. They haven't really done anything with the graphics. It's just like, oh, we've just cut and pasted a better looking texture onto it with more details. That's all we've done.
Slapdash! Woo!
It's just like, here's the same shape, but we've just put more shadows on it. But, yeah, it's, the hilarious thing I love about it is they've made it harder. Which is such brilliant idea. They've given it what looks like to be, Demon Souls harder. Demon Souls was the previous game.
Oh yeah.
It was like Final Fantasy. It's the same game but different story. And Demon Souls was ridiculously hard. If you didn't know where you're going, you were stuffed. And it was so hard that they actually gave you a fan guide with the game to tell you where to go. And even then, it was really hard. Yeah, the book was a guide, like a basic guide to say, hey, if you're starting this game and you're really having trouble, this is a guide that tells you where to go and what to do with each of the bosses.
If it's that hard, shouldn't you make it slightly easier? My
Well,
goodness.
the fan book was the part that made it easier, and even then, the fan book said, here's a boss. Stay alive. That's all we can say for you, stay alive. You need strategy to beat this boss, and very quick movements. If you don't have that, you're stuffed. And now this new Dark Souls 2 video looks as if they've gone back into the, yeah, you take 2 hits, you're dead kind of hardness, instead of like the cheap tricks. Even though there was one cheap trick where you walked across a bridge and all of a sudden, oh look, a dragon clunk lands on the bridge, it breaks, you're dead.
Nice.
Which was just like, that's nice, that's nice. What are we supposed to do to get around that? Oh, you work there. Okay. That's fine. I'll find a tunnel or something. But the enemies now are more interactive as well. If you hit them from behind, they will try and hit you. They'll try and swing behind them to hit you. If you see an enemy behind a wall, don't trust it. If you shoot this enemy, it will break through the wall and try and murder you. It's best to leave them alone and just continue forwards. And they've made it more into a horror kind of suspense. So that, unlike with the last game, which was like, oh my god, there's an enemy over there, he's going to murder me if I get too close. It's more, here's a big environment, here are some enemies, you can't see them, but we're going to make sure that every time you take a step, you're going to be petrified that an enemy's going to come out and kill you.
Oh, awesome.
And it's like, okay, that's fine. And you're in a huge castle from the demo, and it's like everything's dark. And you're walking around going, oh, I'm gonna get murdered,
Wait a minute, it sounds like Amnesia almost.
Yeah, it's almost that they've put in a new mechanic now, so that if you're in a dark area, you can actually light a torch if you can find any fire.
Okay.
And I like that. But it does mean you lose one arm, because you have to carry the torch, so you've got no shield. You can only carry the torch and have a sword. So if someone attacks you, you can't defend. You'd have to roll around and try and evade. And that's really hard in a really small, like, tunnel, which you can't see anything. But they said the enemies you do meet are really tough, but they're very few. But they wanted to make the game so that you know these enemies can roam, or they might try and roam, and you might bump into one, you'll be like, oh my god, I wish I never did that. But you can't tell. So it's more of a, they've gone more down the route of suspense rather than general hard kind of level cap, I think, in some parts, which is good. I like that. A real dark fantasy where you literally are in the dark. Sounds like a really fun idea.
There was some major news that MCM Expo have announced a very special guest for May, and it is the creator of Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. I can't pronounce his name properly. Watanabe Shinichiro.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be really exciting for people who are fans of both those shows. And no doubt there will be loads of Cowboy Bebop cosplays, which is never a bad thing, believe me. I love
It's rare, to be honest, so I think that'd be a good thing. And to be honest, MTM hasn't had any big anime, manga guests in a long while. This is great. This is what we need. Good injection of otaku-ness going
Well, I'm hoping
on.
he does turn up, because sometimes, some guests cancel last minute, very thing.
What am I thinking? The people who created Metal Gear Alchemist, Full Metal Alchemist, the creator and the artist, they came along a few years ago actually, so you'd be surprised. It's often the people that you wouldn't think would turn up, they do sometimes turn up. So that's pretty badass. Hopefully the queue's not going to be that long, because I'd actually like to get an autograph from these people. And I don't want to be standing behind so many tons of people who queue up like 5 times. No! 1 signature is enough! Do not sell them on eBay. It's not fair for the rest of us, okay?
Yeah.
And
also there's a new Batman game that's been announced. It's gonna be the prequel to Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City. I played the first 2, so I'm looking forward to this game now coming out in, I think it's October. So that's one that's gonna be one to look forward to.
one for the comic book fans, eh?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Okay, and we're going to go to the fun part of the show, and that's where our listeners send us great questions. So, let's look at this one. What do you think about the lack of varied ethnicity in anime? Submitted by Sir Prancelot.
You've already mentioned that in Utano Prince, sorry.
Well,
a little bit.
I think there isn't enough ethnicity. If anything, everyone's either foreign, aka American, or they're Japanese. Well, that's what I find from most animes, because they're always described as, Japanese high school students.
But have you noticed with most Americans or most Western people, they portray them as blonde with blue eyes?
Always. That you rarely, apart from Afro Samurai, you see a black person with, Afro hair. So it's kind of almost a bit like you are told it's going to have this in there, a stereotype, and you're given it, pretty much. I think there was one anime many, many years ago called Nadia, which was about, almost like Atlantis, and the girl was specifically Asian. And that's it, really. I just recall, I will never forget, just the art.
Utena has, the princess in it. That's she?
Yeah.
Well, wasn't she?
Just thinking
I remember that one. And then she, the princess, Anthe, I think her name was, she also had a twin brother who was black, right?
Yeah, was that the one with the awesome car?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, only because I remember the anime specifically from my Animerica Extra supplements I used to get with all of my little bits of anime. That was just, I think, one of the few. Again, can you think of any other ethnic minorities in anime or manga apart from that?
Black Butler. Black Butler had the prince in that as well. Was I can't remember. I think it was from India. So there is a few, but they're never main characters. They're usually side characters, which is just depressing. So
Tenho Tenj did it as well.
did I?
Yeah, I think I can't. If it's wrong, I apologise. I think so. Like one of the main characters. Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong though. For some reason, though, the first thing that comes to mind that when we mentioned it a couple of weeks ago was Sailor Moon, because with Sailor Pluto.
Yeah, she was kind of Asian, wasn't she?
Yeah.
That's why I liked her, because she was the only one who seemed to have like olive skin. And I felt, if I could cosplay someone, I could probably do her, and it wouldn't look so ridiculous. Whereas if I were to do someone else, like, it would just kind of stick out a bit. But the main question was, what do you think about the lack of varied ethnicity? So, do you think it affects you guys in the way you see the anime?
I don't personally. It doesn't affect me, but I feel I might be a little bit controversial here, but I feel I'd say a good percentage, or I'd say a part percentage of Japan is xenophobic, so they don't tend to want to put different ethnicities into their anime in fear that they might not get as many views.
Well, they always, as they said, it's usually like the pretty-looking blonde person, but they all look the same anyway how they're drawn, and then it's no one else.
Yeah,
that's like as far as they go.
It's like Lucky Star. I think one of the transfer students is a American girl. She might be American, she might be French, but she's still blonde hair, blue eyes. So
it's very stereotyped, basically,
yeah.
as we were saying before. It would be nice if there was a bit of variety, but there's not a lot we can do. Like Violet said, there's xenophobic, there's not a lot we can do about it. It would be nice to get a few more, though, because I quite liked Cecil in the Prince Summer anime, and I'm hoping to see a bit more of him. So, please, more Afro Samurai, he was awesome. So, a bit more ethnicity wouldn't be amiss. Okay, next question then. So, what do you think of Westaboo art-styled shows like The Little Witch Academy and Pantheon Stocking? That has been submitted by Waifu Mimi.
It's not really that much, is it? Westaboo.
Pantheon Stocking has a very, very strong American style to it.
That's what I was going to say. It felt really pop arty. It wasn't typically Japanese, that's for sure.
It still had the Japanese humour.
Yeah.
I still think it worked in its favour though, because a lot of the crudeness they had in it couldn't really work in high detailed anime.
No, it actually did look quite good as it was for what it was doing.
That's what made it stick out, to be honest. It made it a lot more unique, and it was something a bit different at that time as well. I think that's what us anime viewers needed. So,
yeah, it's good to have a change from the norm, and that's what I liked about it.
Any views on the Little Witch Academy?
I seem to be the only person that hasn't watched it.
Alex!
I know, it's just I haven't got around to watching it. I'm kind of like, oh, it's there, it's just sitting
I'm
there.
gonna whip you.
I've got through everything else but that at the moment.
I quite liked it. I liked the animation in that, actually. I think I said it last week. It was the kind of flowy kind of one that you could laugh at, but then kind of like, oh, at the same time kind of animation, if that makes sense. It worked for that kind of show.
I watched it, but I don't know if it was that like a Western animation style to me. It still had very Japanese anime sort of.
Yeah, it had a lot of that influence still in it. I think it was more the slapstick that they put the kind of Western into it, I think.
Okay.
I think there's one that's came out called Inferno Cop, was probably more Western than both those. It was kind of like a really lazy panty in stockings, where it literally looks like they just cut out characters and stuck them on.
Oh.
You can watch it on YouTube, it's up at the moment, the whole series translated. And it's literally just, I think like half a minute of worth of just weird animation and chat.
I was just looking at pictures of it now, it looks like it looks a little bit like Ghost Rider. Yeah,
it absolutely makes no sense. It's a weird thing. Because the episodes are so short, they literally, in 5 seconds, just like, hey, there's an enemy here. She's like, shoot him. There we go. Oh no, he has a superpower. I don't have a superpower. Oh, you're dead anyway. And it's just like weird little short jokes every episode where they just quickly talk really fast, and then it goes to the next episode and goes, next time on Inferno Cop, and then it just stops.
Is it like Speed Racer? It's like, you cannot do this, kind of.
It's a bit like, one episode it's like, I am bulletproof, so am I. What? And the other guy gets blown up, and it's like, oh, okay. but it reminds me a lot of Panty and Stocking in just like the craziness and the look. But it is a bit like it's just a really short series. A lot of people took a liking to it. But that's probably a really westernised looking show, and it does work. Even though it does make absolutely no sense.
Yeah, well, most animes don't, so
Yeah.
woo, we're cool with that. So we'll go to the next question, which is with the recent trend of condensing animes into movies, Madoka, Nanoa as examples, which anime should get this type of adaptation and still make sense and be successful, and why? Ooh, very complex. Who'd like to answer that first?
That's a toughie, actually, because I think to make a movie, it has to be when the anime is still out. So it's, you know, like, well, the fire is burning, so to speak. So with Madoka and I think the second Nanoha movie has just come out. It's tough. Would it work with like an old version? Say like, trying to think of a good example here. Like Hellsing, for example. Cause, even though they've made a series out of it, would it work as a movie? I don't know. I think it has to be more recent for it to work.
Or maybe a shorter anime series would work.
Yeah. Hellsing's still being dragged out. It's still going.
Oh dear.
I know. I think that was a bad example.
The OVA is still, I think they do about one episode in the last 7 years.
Really?
I don't even think it's finished. I think there's still one episode.
To be fair, they look really good when they do them, because I absolutely love Hellsing, so...
Yeah. It's a good series, Hellsing. It's just it seems to be the world's slowest animating team ever.
Yeah, but have you seen the detail they put into that?
They do. It's just, I found it quite odd that they kind of did about 4 episodes and then it just started to slow down. Yeah. And they got slower and slower and slower until less things started appearing.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. David Jackson, who tends to send us these really mind-provoking questions. Well, the last question, I believe, is, which shows would you like to see make a return?
Panty and Stocking.
Okay.
That ended on such bad ending. Yeah, it was such a Gainax ending.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those endings you just thought, what the hell just happened here?
Yeah, it's definitely one that I'd love to see a second season for. Because
they haven't announced it, have they? Or
no,
not yet.
No. There's been lots of speculation.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but you see Gart about just telling, two of the characters to go forth and find one of the other characters, and then it just ends.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I've got both the soundtracks. There is a hidden track in, I think the first soundtrack, where Panty and Stocking are talking about the next season, and they actually do say, "Well, see you in season 2." But I don't know when Gainax is actually going to make season 2.
There was pictures posted a while back of what was supposed to be season 2 pictures of all the characters, but I don't know if that was actually official.
I don't know. I mean, the Panty and Stocking art style is really easy to copy, so it could just be fan art.
Yeah, because they were kind of sitting there going, "Oh, but it looks really well drawn. I really hope they do a second series." And I think it's just kept everyone alive, hoping that it will happen at least.
Well, it's at least something to hold on to in case they don't.
Yeah.
One I'd definitely like to see, oh my goodness, Fruits Baskets. If they could do like a film or anything to carry that on, I would love it. Just maybe a little, anime conclusion, because I just kind of felt that was it ended prematurely and it was kind of sad, and I think everyone was depressed to see that end.
Very, very much so. It is it was like the scenario of, the anime just went off with its own kind of stroll, so to speak, and it just stopped. And you think, you could have carried on, because the manga was really good, and if they carried it on with the anime, you never know. It might happen one day, maybe.
It made money. Come on, people, pick it up again. I want to see. Does she pick Kyo? Does she pick Yuki? Is Kyo still a douchebag? You know, we need to know, and we need to see it in anime form. That'd be great. Right.
I'd love to see Trinity Blood come out, because they just, again, it's another one they stopped, and the manga is still carrying on. I think now they've started translating it again, but I think, if memory serves me right, it only got up to book 6 or 7, and there's still another, well, it goes up to 12 in the English, and they could easily just carry on with that. That'd be brilliant if they carried that on.
That would probably be a good series as well, and it'll be really, I'm hoping they would do like really more detailed, ridiculous art style compared to the manga, which is just eye candy.
The problem with eye candy, Abel is very good looking.
All the characters in Trinity Blood are just so nicely drawn. I just love that artist. But she very rarely does stuff. So, and when she does do stuff, it's never translated completely. They usually do like 1 or 2 books, and it's just, there's more, but they won't release them.
Well, that's a nice note to end the podcast on. So please, guys, come listen to our next show on wearearcade.com or on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter, Anime UK Show. Don't forget to submit your questions. We love to hear from you. So this is goodbye from me, Aisha, from Harriet.
Bye.
Alex.
Bye.
And Violet.
Bye.
See you next week.
www.wearearcade.com